What would you do if the person you trusted most, the one you loved deeply, looked you in the eye and told you they were dying? What if they said the word no one ever wants to hear, cancer? You'd do anything to help them, right? You'd give your time, your money, your heart. But what if it was all a lie? A carefully crafted, cold-hearted deception that lasted not for days, not for months, but for 5 long years? This is the story of Laura McPherson, a mother of 2 from Derby, England. To the outside world, she was an ordinary woman, a parent, a partner, but behind closed doors, she was weaving a web of lies so elaborate, so cruel, it would leave her partner questioning everything he thought he knew about love, trust, and humanity. Laura told her partner, Jon Leonard, she had cancer, not just once, but 3 times. Cervical cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer. She even told her young daughter she was dying. She begged for money, claiming she needed treatment at a private clinic in Austria. Jon, a successful businessman and philanthropist, gave her everything he could. But as the years went by, cracks began to appear in her story. This is a tale of betrayal so deep, it's hard to comprehend. A story of greed that knows no bounds. And a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous lies come from the people closest to us. Stay with us as we unravel the chilling truth behind Laura McPherson's 5-year-long deception. Welcome to True Crime Files, where we bring you the stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare. This is a place where the truth is often stranger than fiction, where the darkest corners of human behavior are brought to light. If you're someone who's captivated by tales of deception, manipulation, and the pursuit of justice, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Because every week, we uncover stories that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about trust and betrayal. Today, we're delving into the chilling case of Laura McPherson, a woman who spent 5 years convincing her partner she was dying of cancer, only for the truth to be far more disturbing. This is a story of love turned to lies, of generosity met with greed, and a betrayal so profound, it's hard to believe it's real. So, sit back and prepare to hear the details of one of the most shocking cons you'll ever come across. This is a story of Laura McPherson's 5-year-long deception. Laura McPherson was a 35-year-old mother of 2, living in Derby, England. To the outside world, she appeared to be an ordinary woman, a parent, a partner, someone just trying to get by. But beneath the surface, Laura was living a double life. One built on lies so elaborate they would eventually destroy the trust of those closest to her. Her partner, Jon Leonard, was a successful businessman and philanthropist, known for his generosity and dedication to raising millions for cancer charities. To Jon, Laura was a woman he loved, the mother of his children, and someone he believed he could trust completely. But in 2017, everything changed. Laura sat Jon down and delivered news that would shatter his world. She told him she had been diagnosed with cervical cancer. She described the pain, the fear, and the urgency of her situation. She said she needed money immediately for chemotherapy at the Royal Derby Hospital. Jon, heartbroken and desperate to help the woman he loved, didn't hesitate. He gave her the money, no questions asked. At the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. How could he have known that this was only the beginning of a deception that would span 5 long years? A deception that would drain him emotionally, financially, and leave him questioning everything he thought he knew about the person he loved. This was the setup, the moment Laura McPherson began to weave her web of lies. But as we'll soon see, this was just the first thread in a much larger, much darker tapestry. But Laura's lies didn't stop there. What began as a single claim, cervical cancer, soon grew into a web of deceit so vast it was almost impossible to untangle. Over the next 5 years, Laura didn't just stop at one diagnosis. She added more. She told Jon she had colon cancer, then breast cancer. Each time, her story became more elaborate, more desperate. She painted a picture of a woman fighting for her life, a woman who needed help, support, and money to survive. And Jon, already heartbroken and terrified of losing her, believed every word. He gave her the money she asked for, no questions asked. He was determined to save her, to do whatever it took to keep her alive. But Laura's deception didn't just affect Jon. She even told her young daughter she was dying. Imagine the weight of that lie. A child being told her mother might not be around much longer. It's a cruelty that's hard to comprehend. Laura's next move was perhaps the most audacious. She convinced Jon to fund her treatment at a private clinic in Austria. She claimed this clinic was her only hope, the one place that could save her life. Jon, desperate to do anything to help, agreed. He gave her the money, believing it was going toward life-saving treatment. But even that wasn't enough for Laura. In a twist that adds another layer to this already complex story, Jon went above and beyond. He found a leading doctor, an expert in the field, and arranged for Laura to see them. But Laura refused. She said she'd rather stick with the NHS, the UK's public healthcare system. At the time, it might have seemed like a reasonable decision. But looking back, it's clear this was just another part of her plan. Because while Jon was scrambling to save her life, Laura was secretly using the money for her own gain. The private clinic in Austria, it wasn't for cancer treatment. It was for weight loss therapy. The money Jon thought was going towards saving her life was actually being spent on something entirely different. This is where the story takes a darker turn. Laura wasn't just lying about her health. She was manipulating Jon's emotions, his generosity, and his love for her. She was playing on his deepest fears and using them to her advantage. And for 5 years, she got away with it. But as we'll see, every lie has its breaking point. Every deception, no matter how carefully crafted, eventually begins to unravel. And for Laura McPherson, that moment was coming. What would you do if you found out someone you loved was lying about something this big? Could you ever trust them again? Let me know in the comments below. For 5 years, Laura McPherson's lies held strong. She had built a fortress of deceit, one that seemed impenetrable. But as the saying goes, the truth always finds a way to surface. And for Laura, that moment came on New Year's Eve, 2021. It was supposed to be a routine trip. Jon dropped Laura off at the clinic in Austria, the same clinic she had claimed was her last hope for cancer treatment. But this time, something felt off. Laura insisted Jon not come inside. She told him to wait in the car, that she would handle it herself. For Jon, this was unusual. After all, he had been by her side through every step of her supposed battle with cancer. Why the sudden change? Suspicion began to creep in. Jon couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right, and so he started to dig. What he found would shatter the life they had built together. Through text messages and phone records, Jon discovered the truth. Laura was receiving cancer treatment at the clinic. She wasn't fighting for her life. Instead, she was undergoing weight loss therapy. The money Jon had given her, the money he thought was going towards saving her life, was being spent on something entirely different. The weight of this revelation was crushing. Jon had spent years believing Laura was dying. He had given her his time, his money, his heart. And all along, she had been lying to him. The betrayal was unimaginable. Devastated and heartbroken, Jon knew he had to act. He reported Laura to the police, determined to hold her accountable for what she had done. But even when confronted with the evidence, Laura refused to admit the truth. She denied everything, even going so far as to claim that Jon was a controlling one in their relationship. She tried to turn the tables, to paint herself as the victim. But the evidence was undeniable. The text messages, the financial records, the clinic's documentation, it all pointed to one conclusion. Laura McPherson had been lying for 5 years. This was the moment everything fell apart. The lies, the manipulation, the betrayal, all came crashing down. And for Jon, the emotional toll was immense. He had trusted Laura completely. He had loved her, and she had used that love against him in the worst possible way. As we move forward in this story, we'll explore the aftermath of Laura's deception, the legal consequences, the emotional scars, and the lessons learned from one of the most shocking cases of betrayal you'll ever hear. But before we get there, let's pause for a moment. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. Your experiences remind us that stories like Laura's, while extreme, are rooted in a painful reality many of us have faced. The courtroom was silent as Laura McPherson stood before the judge. After years of lies, manipulation, and betrayal, the truth had finally caught up with her. Laura pleaded guilty to fraud, admitting to crimes that had devastated her partner, Jon Leonard, and left a trail of emotional destruction in their wake. For Jon, this moment was bittersweet. On one hand, justice was being served. On the other, the scars of Laura's deception ran deep. In a heartfelt victim impact statement, Jon laid bare the emotional toll of her lies. He spoke of how Laura's actions had shattered his faith in humanity, how her betrayal had left him questioning everything he thought he knew about love and trust. He described the isolation he felt, cut off from friends and family, as he poured all his energy into supporting Laura during her supposed battle with cancer. He talked about the financial strain, the sleepless nights, and the constant fear of losing her. And he revealed the heartbreak of discovering that it had all been a lie, that the woman he loved had been using him for her own gain. The judge listened carefully, weighing the impact of Laura's actions. In the end, she was sentenced to a 2-year community order, a 40-week curfew, and 30 rehabilitation sessions. It was a punishment meant to hold her accountable, while also offering a chance for rehabilitation. But for Jon, the emotional scars remain. No sentence could undo the damage Laura had caused. No punishment could erase the years of lies or restore the trust that had been broken. For him, the aftermath of Laura's deception is a daily struggle, a reminder of how deeply betrayal can cut. As we reflect on this story, it's hard not to wonder, was Laura's punishment enough? Did the sentence truly match the gravity of her crimes? What do you think? If you believe Laura deserved a harsher sentence, hit the like button. Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. This case is a stark reminder of the power of trust and the devastation that follows when that trust is broken. But it's also a story of resilience, of one man's determination to rebuild his life after unimaginable betrayal. And as we close this chapter, we're left with a question that lingers. How do we move forward after being hurt by someone we loved? So, there you have it. The shocking story of Laura McPherson, a woman who spent 5 years fabricating a cancer diagnosis to deceive her partner, Jon Leonard, out of thousands of pounds. It's a tale that reminds us how fragile trust can be and how devastating the consequences of betrayal can become. Laura's lies not only drained Jon emotionally and financially, but also left lasting scars on his faith in humanity. If this story left you as stunned as it did us, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more gripping true crime stories to light. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because next time we'll be uncovering another jaw-dropping case, one that will make you question just how well you truly know the people around you. Until then, stay curious, stay aware, and remember, not everyone is who they seem.